Welcome to ACTV Newsmakers. Recently, we've been talking about the Addison Township 708 Mental Health Board. They had a community open house, which was held in May, and we're going to get a update on how that went. And also take a time to think about the Addison Township Food Pantry. With summer coming, Addison residents will have the opportunity to bring donations of non-perishable and personal care items to Rock and Wheels that will be donated to the Addison Township Food Pantry. So to tell us all about that is Dennis Reboletti, the Supervisor of Addison Township. So Dennis, thanks for coming in. I know you've been busy working on all these projects, right?
We have been very busy over at the Township, and thank you for having me as always to give the updates.
Yep.
So the Mental Health Board had its open house in conjunction with the Township about last week. And we had 8 or 9 vendors. It was very well attended. Mayor Veenstra was there, Deputy Mayor Hundley was there, and they had the opportunity to talk to providers from throughout the county and from throughout the region that have already given testimony to the Mental Health Board. We had Ray Graham, UPC Seguin, and Easter Seals were there on behalf of the disabled community. The Vet Center was there, and they're actually talked to the mayor about getting a booth from time to time at Rock and Wheels to promote awareness that this is another resource for veterans. Then we had Serenity House, a group called Clover Caddies, which is a way for children all the way up to seniors to begin to work on some of their issues before they would go into a formal type of treatment before they can actually go and see somebody. Serenity House was there, and NEDFIS was there, Northeast DuPage Youth and Family Services Group was there. So I hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but they were all there presenting. It was a great opportunity to go from booth to booth to learn about their services and to talk about what they would be able to add as far as mental health and other services for the community.
And these various agencies that were there also, as you mentioned before, have given testimony to the Mental Health Board in hopes that they could receive grant funding to kind of get the actual deliverables in place within those agencies.
Right. They've all given extensive testimony regarding what they see as the need, how many people they would be able to help, and how they could immediately begin to use those resources. So the Mental Health Board met afterwards. They passed a budget. It's just under $2 million, which was authorized by the Mental Health Board. It's coming to the Township for our final vote and approval, and we'll be taking that up in the June meeting. And so our fiscal years will be running parallel with one another, and once that's approved, their next step is to approve the application process and begin to put those applications out on the street.
These are all local agencies, many of which are headquartered or based in Addison Township. You mentioned Serenity House, NEDFIS, for example, some of the others. Is the idea then that when people need to access whatever service it might be, you have local agencies, these are usually nonprofit agencies, but they are receiving a portion of their dollars through the Addison Township Mental Health Board?
That's correct. So if NEDFIS came to us and said we need $50,000 to hire another counselor, and that counselor was used to help Addison Township residents specifically, then once they verify that, then that grant would be given out over time.
All right, so those dollars are staying local. These are tax dollars that are coming into the Mental Health Board's operation.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay, so that all stays here locally. What's the next step for them? You said they're going to be going through an application process with these agencies? I
would anticipate we'll take the budget in front of the board, that gets approved. They have a meeting, I believe it's June 26th of next month, and they'll then finalize, know what the budget is from us, and they'll begin the process of putting out the applications and finalizing what that process is going to look like.
Okay. Any update on the Youth Drop-In Center at this point, which was kind of an offshoot of the Mental Health Board operation?
They also attended, and I forgot to leave the Alive Center out.
Alive Center, right.
They're still waiting for their grants to see from the county. I had Mayor Veenstra and Deputy Mayor Hundley talk with them specifically about the opportunity. And we're still kind of in a holding pattern with them, but we are making infrastructure changes within the township building to be able to accommodate them down the road.
Okay, good. Let's turn our attention now to the Addison Township Food Pantry, which has operated for many years and is still operating. I mentioned residents. This is a great time during the summer to stop by Rockin' Wheels and bring an item that can be donated to the Township Food Pantry, personal care items or non-perishable items. It was a great success in 2023. But you're also trying to deal with getting funding in to support the food pantry. You want to give us an update on that, where you're at and working with some of the other agencies?
Sure, and we're always appreciative of our partnership with the village. And being out at Rockin' Wheels last year was nice to see the support that the community always gives the food pantry, be it through food or financial donations or donating their time, coming in and volunteering. One of the things that we have found is that I'm sitting here with 4 pages from the Northern Illinois Food Bank of things that I can buy for our residents. And when one of the things is Burger King mayonnaise sample pouches, that's not going to help feed the neighborhood. So we don't have anything to really buy from the Northern Illinois Food Bank, which is difficult because we have ended up now using Sam's Club here in Addison to buy food. From last year, if the viewers remember, Addison Township and a couple other neighboring townships had issues with produce from a federal program through the Northern Illinois Food Bank because we were receiving rotten produce. That was rectified by the county giving us a grant and then carving us out. We got about $12,500. We have been using that. That's already used up. We spend about $1,000 to $1,200 a week buying produce from a Chicago vendor. They deliver in a very timely way. It comes prior to our distribution, and we distribute it all out just in time, as a regular manufacturing group would do. Unfortunately, the county board, in their infinite wisdom, and the Human Services Committee has said that the carve-out no longer exists. So they believe that Addison Township residents should only get food from the Northern Illinois Food Bank. Well, even if I thought that was a viable option. And the only thing that they've offered to me as evidence that the program is working better is their word. I'll take them at their word, but I would now have to take food at different times, different days, different schedules. You're running a regular operation. And we've run the food pantry under my leadership for 7 years. We've partnered with the village and others. And it just isn't something you just say, oh, well, we'll go change the way we do something so we can get this produce. So the recommendation that's going to go in front of the county board is that Addison Township has to get either the food from them or we don't get anything, which doesn't really make any sense to me. It's the township's taxpayers' money that they're trying to take away and carve out. And I don't understand why they're that concerned about it. I was not allowed to give testimony at the committee, even though I sent a letter to Chairman Schwarzy requesting an opportunity to make the case on behalf of the township residents. What I do know is that I'm not going to give up in that vein. I still think we have a very worthwhile program that can continue to work for its 90,000 residents without oversight from another governmental entity trying to tell us how to operate what's best for us. So it's always difficult when people from other communities are trying to oversee something that they're not that familiar with.
And about how much are you talking about in terms of dollars that you would be relying on to meet your needs by going to an outside vendor for the food purchase?
So it's about $1,200 a week, give or take. The produce has been fresh. The produce has been timely. We've had an opportunity to give a better selection to our clients. And you're still talking about 150 to 200 families. There are migrants that are adding on to our list week by week. So we're working within our own revenue to take care of it. But when I have to spend anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month to purchase food, where I didn't have to, I spend $10,000 a year on food, the donations are down. Financial donations are down. I know times are tougher. And it shows here by Northern Illinois Food Bank barely having anything, and mayonnaise packets aren't going to cut it. So
what's your recourse then to work with the county board to be able to access that funding?
I am going to ask that they give a carve out to Addison Township, that we get the $12,500 that it should be due to the township. It doesn't make any sense that produce should have to go to Geneva and then get delivered out to Addison Township when I already have a system in place that already works.
Yeah.
And the program is only for 1 more year, so I'm not really sure why this has become such a contentious issue.
Yeah, okay. So the opportunity is there, but at this point, it sounds like you're going to have to deal with the county board then.
Their recommendation at this point before they go to the full county board is to deny our request to continue with the $12,500 grant. But I'm not somebody who's going just to simply give up and say that shouldn't be a viable option, and I will fight for the tax dollars to come back here to our residents.
So you're going to wind up having to take your case to the full county board?
We will take it to Chairman Conroy and the rest of the board members to see, or hopefully we can ask the other members in Health and Human Services Committee to reconsider their process.
Okay, all right. Well, keep us updated on that, Dennis, if you would. Now, as we mentioned, collection of non-perishable items and personal care items are always really desperately needed. It will be taking place at Rock and Wheels during the entirety of the summer, so you can drop by anytime. You go to the Village of Addison booth. People just sort of bring a bag, and they're very happy, and it's a great location to accept not only those donations, but like you mentioned, the cash donations.
It is. Well. It's greatly appreciated, Don.
Great. Dennis, thank you very much for coming and talking with us today, and keep us updated on not only your operations of the food pantry and your dealing with DuPage County Board, but the mental health board operations as well. And you can keep up with the news at Addison Township by visiting them online at addisontownship.com. Thank you for joining us on ACTV Newsmakers.